Welcome to the how to play video for Oddbods Go-Kards. There are 3 game styles for Oddbods Go-Kards: Kid style, Family style, and Pro style. And in this video, we'll cover setting up and the rules on playing each style. Depending on the style that you are playing, there are many ways to set up a track. Tracks are made out of corners and segments. For the kids and family style, your track starts and finish at the same point. Here is an example of a kids and family style track. For the pro style, you have the option of starting and finishing at different points. On top of that, a pit stop board may be used. Here are a few examples of a pro style track. After the track is set up, players will place their racers at the start point and each player will be given 3 movement cards. And that concludes setting up a track. Now let's talk about the types of cards you'll play in the game. Every player starts with 3 cards and can hold a maximum of 5 cards. Depending on the game style, you'll play with different types of cards. For a kid-style game, you will only play with movement cards. For a family-style game, you will play with movement and special cards. Lastly, for a pro-style game, you will play with movement, special, and power-up cards. Jeff's rules are cards that contain conditions which the player must meet if they don't wish to be penalized, but we'll talk more about this later. Movement and special cards are basically the same thing, with the exception that special cards have special abilities that allow you to do special things, like drawing additional cards, or moving an opponent back 2 spaces. Power-up cards need to be purchased. The cost of a power-up card is stated on the pit stop board. You pay with movement or special cards. The value is indicated on each card. Power-up cards allow you to power up your racer with even more special abilities, like holding 2 extra cards, or swapping places with another racer. And that's all the types of cards in the game. Next, let's talk about movements. You move by playing movement or special cards. How much you are allowed to move depends on the amount of move points on the card. At the start of the game, you may choose which lane to move on. This is important because you cannot change lanes until you reach the next corner, and you cannot share a space with another player. Different lanes have different colored spaces, and the different colored spaces have different effects. Green spaces provides you with immunity from anything other players can throw at you. Yellow spaces lets the player draw a movement card. Pink spaces lets you share a space with another player. Orange spaces move you ahead. Remember the Jeff rules card? Well, if you land on a purple space, you are required to draw a Jeff's rule card, and if you fail to meet the conditions stated on the card, you will need to move to whatever space the purple arrow points. Blue spaces requires you to roll the pogo dice. Depending on the outcome, you may move racers around or change their lanes. And last but not least, red spaces move you forward a space but require you to discard a card when you land on one. And that's everything you need to know to play Oddbods Go-Kards.